Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris. This is Model Airplane Maker, and today I'm going to take you on a little tour of a museum, an air museum featuring flying warbirds. It's in Hamilton, Ontario. I was there just the other weekend attending an event and had a great time walking through the collection. So sit back and enjoy, and I'll take you through it. The Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum lives in a purpose-built hangar complex at the edge of the airport in Hamilton. The museum's calling card is the extensive and impressive collection of flying warbirds, and they are impressive. The museum also features many other flying airplanes of the non-warbird variety. I've been to this museum maybe 4 or maybe 5 times, but most of these visits were during a scale model contest. So the airplanes were smushed to one side and some were parked outside in the cold. The other time I went to the museum, there was no contest or event going on, so the entire collection was spread out. So it was a different museum experience. And I say that because the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum is a living museum, and it's an important one. There is something important about seeing pieces of the past in person and getting an understanding of how they work. Now, more than ever, at least in my lifetime, we seem to live in an era where there is a mass ignorance of history and the past and the people that came before us, in favor of current narratives or convenience. I think we should be encouraging people, not just youngsters, to ask questions, to find out more, to be inquisitive on their own, to want to understand. And I believe in carrots far more than I believe in sticks. I believe that museums are a part of that. And in a way, they should be built to encourage everyone to ask more questions and to understand. Of course, you'll always have those who think that museums are the most boring places in the world. What with the sound-deadening carpets, Latin descriptions encased in lucite plaques, and esoteric bits of dug-up pottery claiming to be relevant. But not all museums are like that, nor do they have to be. I think a museum and its collection should be just the start of a journey of questions and answers. And these can lead to lifelong interests, career choices, world travel. And I think it's wide open as to how a museum can accomplish that. At the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum, they have brought the planes to life in several ways. Youngsters and oldsters can sit in a plane, actually several planes, and move the controls and see what it's like to be inside of an airplane. Most, if not all, of the exhibits still belch smoke, they growl under massive engine power, and they fly. And in the restoration section, while not specifically open to the public, it can be easily seen. And all of those airplanes are open, where you can see the engines, wiring, and all of the plumbing guts that make and made these airplanes work. I was attending the Heritage Con Scale Model Contest on this visit to the museum, and if you're interested, I have a separate video on that. The staff made us a tight but manageable path through the airplanes that thankfully featured some of my favorites, such as the Avenger, which has got to be one of the biggest single-engine warbirds ever made. And even with those wings folded, it still took up a considerable amount of real estate. And also the Mitchell J. Now, I don't know much about the use of these in Western Europe. That's the finish that this particular Mitchell is depicted in. But I do know that those 50 caliber machine guns were used with devastating effect in the Pacific. And of course, everyone's favorite, the Lancaster, was on full display, and undergoing some maintenance ahead of flying season. So all the panels were open, engines were open, you could see the whole thing. As a place that hosts events and gatherings of all descriptions, let alone having people visit to see the collection, the museum has had a pretty tough last couple of years in terms of revenues attendance. They certainly pulled all the stops out for this event, and I really hope that they make a good recovery in the next little while. If you are in the general Hamilton, Ontario area, or even if you're in the GTA, it's definitely worth the drive to come down and see this living collection of warbirds and other airplanes. I didn't get a chance to get all of them in this video because, like I said, quite a few of them were outside while the event space was filled up with plastic models. The last thing I'll say about this museum is that on the way out, you get a real treat. There is a fantastic gift shop that has pretty much anything aviation related that you could want. So they've got clothing, they've got posters and pictures, mounted framed pictures, models, caps, any type of memorabilia you could think of. They have it here, and it's really well laid out. This is one of the nicest gift shops that I've seen in an air museum. Well, that about does it for this video. If you like the video and think that others might like to see it as well, please like and subscribe. And otherwise, until next time, thanks for watching.